What is going on, guys? Carter here with Edged Mindset. Thank you for coming to my channel, checking out my video. I appreciate everybody for commenting, liking, subscribing. Always appreciate it. I couldn't do it without you. Wouldn't want to anyways. We're taking a look at something pretty cool for me. So this is a new model. It's prototype. I've got a prototype, baby. Somebody sent me a prototype of a knife that they designed. Steve Joyce of One Track Mind designed the Ire folder. That's what we're looking at here, the Ire folder. Send it to me to give my opinions and tips I have or critiques I have, and just get a chance to check this out before it goes live. I believe pre-orders are open on this, so if you are interested, check out the information down below, and you can get on the books, the pre-order books for an Ire. In particular, I like the full blacked out version with the DLC blade, DLC titanium, and the carbon fiber. I don't usually like murdered out stuff, but in this particular model, I think it looks really, really slick. So yeah, before we begin though, I just want to say nothing. I already said it. I'm good. I've got a whole list of improvements to this knife that we'll run through outside of what you see here. Things that'll change and be better and stuff like that. So I want to make sure to notate that so that if you do pre-order this, you know it's going to be slightly different and slightly improved. And what I will say is the list is pretty cool. Like, we're talking down to the details of some things that has been noted by Steve. So really cool, really impressive. And also very bold to do a knife this size in this day and age. So bravo, sir, for going big. 3 3/4 inches on this blade. It is 20 CV, and the overall length is, 8 1/4, 8 1/2. Yeah, about 8 1/4, 8 3/8, somewhere around there. Very large. Blade to handle ratio is excellent. 3 3/4 inch blade for under 8 1/2 inches. Just really, really excellent. Let's do a weight here. Get an idea of how this is going to feel in the pocket in terms of weight. 4.8 ounces, so not too bad for a knife this size. And as I mentioned, I've got a note here that the milling on the titanium will be increased to reduce that weight even further, which is interesting because so much has been removed already for these carbon fiber scales. Maybe they're going to do full-on skeletonization in here. I don't know, but expect the production version to be a little bit lighter. So if that weight is too high for you, it may improve with the production version. To what degree? Who knows? Depends on how much they remove. 20 CV blade, like I mentioned, reverse tanto, nice satin finish on there. This is not my preferred satin finish. I like belt satin where you can really see the grind lines. This is kind of more of that finer grain look that's buffed out a little bit. Not my cup of tea, or at least not my top choice, but I think it looks good. It looks fine, and it's definitely functional. You're not going to get anything caught in any of the higher grained grinds that I find visually appealing. So very, very nice. Nice and thin behind the edge. Being the reverse tanto, it is like pretty much completely consistent all the way to the tip. Then you actually have a tip, so you get the benefit of kind of like a sheep's foot, but you get this nice, somewhat functional tip here in case you need to jam it into things or pry things out or do anything like that. Multiple ways to open this baby. You've got an opening hole. You've got Thumbstuds. I think that was a good move. Works really, really well, especially the Thumbstuds. They're positioned really nice for reverse flicking. You just get your finger right on there and flick it open. Same with the thumb here. You can use the opening hole. Not quite as snappy because it's a little further down. See, I missed that one. But overall, very, very nice. You've got the front flipper here. I also have a note that the jimping will be improved. It'll be extended all the way down here. And I think it will be more aggressive. And this isn't bad. Like, it's reasonably aggressive. I can do the finger. I can do a finger flick. So if I can do that, that means it's not too bad. Speaking of flicking it open, the detent is really nice. I was thinking when I was first playing with this that it was a bit on the lighter side. And not in any kind of like, it's going to open. You cannot get this thing to fly open unless you really, really flick it. But it did feel like it's a little bit lighter than some knives I've experienced. However, I personally appreciate it because it means I can actually do some of these cooler, fun moves. which I can't do on a lot of knives that have a really, really strong detent. My skill level just isn't to a point where I can properly front flip it open if the detent's too strong. So at first I was going to say that I thought the detent was a tad light, but now I'm thinking it's spot on. This thing is so much fun to play with. Lockup is a little bit later than I would personally like, not really for any functional reasons. I guess I don't know, I'm just so used to it being a little bit earlier. Now that could be this particular knife being a proto. Might not be the case on the production versions. This has also been passed around. I don't know if it's been taken apart, so you got to take that with a grain of salt. But really easy to disengage. It's got nice chamfering in here that you can get your thumb on. No issues whatsoever. In fact, it's got double chamfering on both sides, which I really, really appreciate. I hate it when it feels like you're just barely getting in there, barely unlocking that knife, and then you start to worry if it gets closer to that other scale, if this lock bar starts to wear in, am I even going to be able to get in there? No issue here at all. And the lock bar has the perfect amount of tension. It is not difficult to disengage whatsoever, so that's done really well. Lockup is nice and strong. It's running on bearings, all the normal stuff. You got beautiful curved titanium that's blasted on this version. Really cool pivot, custom pivot, and you can see that it is contoured to match the faux bolsters here, which is very, very cool. A nice little visual touch. I think that looks awesome. I really, really like this pivot. I know it's just a visual thing and it's just a pivot, but really cool touch how they made this follow the contour there. Let's see if I can kind of illustrate that a little bit better. But yeah, see how the bolsters there, the faux bolsters are curved, and this just matches right along with it. You've got your inlays here, carbon fiber, external screws, which is fine, contoured, looks good. Reversible pocket clip, and I also have a note that it'll come with the production version will come with a filler tab to put over here, so that it's not like this gap with a screw in it. Lanyard hole, production version's going away with the lanyard. That'll go away. You've got about a half-length backspacer right here. Now, I haven't taken this apart, but I assume it's got standoffs that go through the backspacer here once you remove these inlays, these scales, and then you've probably got 1 or 2 screws underneath here. Really cool backspacer, titanium, and it's got this milling going along with it, but then it's also contoured, which gives it like a really elegant kind of look to it. The construction on this thing is excellent. Kunwu, I'm impressed with all the stuff they do. My Django is one of my favorite little folders, little axis lock folders. I really, really like their stuff. No complaints there. 3D milled pocket clip. Like I said before, reversible, good tension. It's not a frame lock, it's a bolster lock, so you don't have to worry about material getting stuck in anything. It's nice and smooth. Great entry point for the material as well. Goes in and out of the pocket fantastically. This thing is so much fun to play with. Did I mention the high flat grind here? Really slicey. I don't know if I covered that. Finger choil, you can choke up here. I have a note that that's going to be increased in size, which honestly, I don't know. I'm hoping just slightly, because I think it's a pretty good size. It could be maybe some people had some concern that the meat of your finger might just barely hit that corner there, so maybe they're increasing it just a tad. But I don't know. I don't think it seems too bad. Another thing that's going to be improved, which you won't be able to tell through this video, is the placement of the detent ball. Right now, it's somewhat low. You can see you've got this amount of travel before you actually, from unlocking until you hit that detent ball. So that is going to be moved up so that there's less travel there. And there's also going to be a detent ramp put on the tang here. So as you can tell right now, it kind of hits that detent ball, and it's pretty abrupt, pretty aggressive when it hits that. So that detent ramp is going to make this super smooth so that you don't even know you've got space here, and you don't even know you're riding up on that detent ball, which will just make it all around better. And I think I mentioned this, increase in the aggressiveness of the jimping, and it'll be extended all the way to the ramp here. So I think that covers all of the improvements that are going to happen with this knife. So now overall impressions, the ergonomics are fantastic. No hot spots. It feels really, really good. Once you get this jimping up here, that is going to feel so nice to put your thumb on there. I mean, it already does. You've got a ramp. I don't know if jimping is really needed all the way up here, but, you know, couldn't hurt. Feels pretty good. I really like it. The lines on this thing are good. You know, personal taste. Obviously, it's my video. Of course it's personal. I would actually love to see this. I'm not even going to say I would recommend, because I don't know. But I would love to see it without this opening hole, and then maybe even a higher flat grind. And of course, the grind lines that I love so much, which, you know, I don't know if Kunwu does that. I don't think they do. This is very much a Kunwu satin finish. But in a perfect world, like if I could snap my fingers and just take a look at this knife how I want to, that's what I would do. I don't know if I love the opening hole visually, and in terms of opening, thumb studs are what's placed the best, right? That's the preferred way for me to open it up, is right there. When I try to go lower into this opening hole, it works. It's just not as satisfying as snappy, because, you know, here is where you really want to be putting that pressure to flick this thing open. And you got these nice thumb studs here. So if that wasn't possible, maybe if the opening hole was a no budge situation, then maybe remove the thumb studs and extend this opening hole up further so that you could get into the opening hole kind of up here. I don't know, just some ideas. I just know that it does feel a little busy with the thumb studs and the hole here. I get the idea of having multiple ways to open it. But me personally, I would like a cleaner, just flat blade. Something about full flat grinds with grind lines, just running all the way up to the top, just does it for me. Just makes me feel something special. But other than that, I don't think I would change anything on this knife. I mean, it's great. It's got all the stuff. It's done really, really well. Like I mentioned, very bold to come out with a knife on the larger side right now. I hope that pays off. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention. It's got some good acoustics. I mean, it's not like doing like a full-on ting thing or crazy resonating thing, but it's got a nice ting, a nice slap to it when you open it up that I noticed right off the bat. So if you like the sound of knives, might be worth checking out. All right, guys. I think that's it. It's a good entry. You know, is it redefining the knife world? No, I don't think so. But it is thinking through all of the things that people like and want and critiques. And clearly, Steve is trying to put out the best knife that he possibly can for his design. And really, I think with these improvements, he's hit on it. Now it's just a matter of, you know, is this your cup of tea? Is this your flavor? Is this your style? Are the different versions that are available going to do it for you? If this is something you're interested in getting, comment down below. What do you think of this knife? What do you think of his first, I believe his first knife design? I guess I didn't clarify that. I'm assuming this is his first. I could be wrong. But what do you guys think of this thing? I dig it. I like it, and I appreciate him sending it to me to check out. As always, thank you guys. I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.